Good morning, this is Jack from Charting Markets, and this is the pre-market webinar for the morning of Wednesday, the 4th of February. My disclaimer, I do this for educational purposes only. I'm here to share my technical analysis with you. I hope you can take some of what I'm doing and learn from it, transfer it to your own charts. I'm not here to issue trading signals. This is a video for paying subscribers at chartingthemarkets.substack.com. It's published on YouTube after a delay of 24 hours. All right, great. Okay, we saw a decline yesterday, and this was on rumblings in Iran. The US shot down Iranian drones, so we will see how that goes. But at the moment, it wasn't big enough to deliver a lower low, and it wasn't big enough to deliver a retest of the high on the oils either. So more of a rumbling, I think. We've recovered more than half of that since, and I'm thinking we may well be looking at pretty much exactly the same going forward as I was projecting yesterday. Now, one thing I want to mention that I didn't mention yesterday was next week. Obviously, we've got a bearish leading day today, although we may spend most of that recovering the bullish leading day yesterday, which went the other way. We've got a bullish leading day on Thursday, and then basically from Friday the 6th through to Friday the 13th. We've basically got 6 days. We've got a minimum of 57% green closes every day. We've got 57% closes Friday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And then next Monday, we've got 62% green, 71% green on Thursday, and 62% green on Friday. We've got a decent looking little bullish window here. And actually, that bullish window really arguably only finishes after President's Day, obviously on the 16th, and runs through till Tuesday the 17th. And then we've got a bearish leaning run starting on Wednesday the 18th of February, with two bullish days, particularly on Thursday the 19th, and bearish days, particularly on Thursday the 19th and Thursday the 20th. So we've got a nice window here, and we got time. I'm thinking we've got some unfinished business up at retests of highs, and subject to news, I think we've got a pretty good chance of making those. Right. NQ was the weakest yesterday and almost went back and made a lower low. That was a little worrying because we really need a bit of a bounce here on NDX to see a new high on NDX, which we haven't seen yet, although we have seen it on the Qs. Looking at RTY, broken up over resistance here. This actually held up the best yesterday. You can see we're almost back up at the prior high, and this closed again on the daily middle band as resistance. On YM, we didn't quite make the triangle target here, but we did make it on the dog to the tail that is the future. We did make it on Dire. So this triangle performed perfectly, and we saw a break up and then a retest of the all-time high. So we had a new all-time high on that yesterday. On DAX, backtesting the daily middle band, and the jury is still out at the moment. ESTX backtested the monthly pivot rather on both, and the ESTX came close to a backtest of it and is holding it pretty nicely at the moment. And N225, we had a nice looking triangle, and that broke up and delivered the retest of the all-time high, which was the target of the triangle. Can go higher, of course, but the main target is that retest, basically as a bullish, as a triangle, as a variant on a bull flag here. All right, let's have a look at the bigger picture charts. Now, ES and SPX, we saw a break back down below the daily middle band. So basically, we've got a break up on Monday, rejection back below on Tuesday. I would like to see a break back above on Wednesday. We will see whether or not we will get that. We're slightly green at the moment after the rally yesterday afternoon, but that's what I would like to see. But really, do remember, we've got basically a 2-week window to get this done. In that time, I would like to see a retest of the all-time high on SPX. I would like to see a retest of the all-time high on NDX, and another retest of the all-time high on the Qs, obviously, but we've seen one of those recently. Dire, we had a retest of the all-time high yesterday, and we saw that on Inda as well, so we haven't got any divergence there. In terms of the daily middle bands, we broke back below, rejected back below on SPX and Qs, and it'll be kind of worrying for more downside if we don't break back above today. So in terms of Dire, We had a strong poke below it, but we still closed above yesterday, and IWM, we closed on the band. In terms of the hourly and 15-minute charts, there isn't anything to see really apart from this RSI 14 buy signal on Dia on the hourly chart, which has now reached the possible near miss target. And we've obviously got a nice looking little level top here. We've got a pretty decent looking topping setup on SPX. Not a bad looking topping setup on Qs. So overall, if we were to see a strong rejection here and go into, well, if we get some bad news, then there is a reasonable setup here to see a significant amount of downside. But we are waiting to see whether we get that bad news. On the IWM daily chart, we saw basically another close on the daily middle band, second day in a row. That actually was quite a strong performance because the daily middle band went up. We've still got an RSI 14 sell signal fixed, but obviously we made target on the RSI 5 daily sell signal. Nothing to see on the hourly charts there either. DAX came back and back tested the daily middle band yesterday. We didn't see a close above it, but I'm thinking we may well see that today. And Nikkei obviously held the daily middle band on the back tests and has now retested the high. We've got obviously a potential little level top here. Looking at DAX, not really unless we see a retest of the high. But this overall, this isn't a topping setup which says look down. We've had two of those in the last year. Both of them, one of them delivered hard into the April low. Another one was a more modest retracement. This isn't of the quality of either of them. If we see a breakdown here, it'll probably be on news. All right, great. Let's have a look at DX. DX, we've got an IHS which is broken up here with a target in the 98.96 area. We've got a little bull flag forming here. I'm expecting to see at least a retest of this previous high in about the 97.65 area, and possibly a move up into this target in 99. We have got a potential larger double bottom here after the last one rejected from 100.5 back down to the low here at 95.25. I'm thinking we could be heading up towards another test of double bottom resistance in the 100.5 to 101 area. I can't remember exactly, but I'm thinking we may all be on the way there. Not because the administration is doing anything to inspire much confidence in the dollar, but just because that would be the logical sequence if we don't see a breakdown, would be to go there. We'll see. In terms of the other currencies, not a lot to see. Might be breaking up for a bull flag on USD, might be breaking up for a bull flag on GBP USD. USD JPY is outperforming, but then last week it was underperforming. So I think this was an intervention to cut the value, and it's actually retraced most of that already. I've still got a target at 162, which I would like to see hit, and I'm thinking that interventions permitting, we may well see that. Nice little break up over declining resistance here in USD CAD. Looks like a bull flag forming. Australian dollar. This is kind of a bull flag that's broken up because we had a head and shoulders and that's failed. So we've got another target back at a retest of this high here in about the 70.95 area. NZUSD, again, looks like a bull flag forming. So I'm leaning towards at least some more upside on the US dollar, and we'll see how it goes from there. Looking at KC, KC, I was watching support here, and obviously we went straight through it. That's not that surprising. I was saying that was a very real possibility. We've got a possible 60-minute buy signal brewing. There is potentially this could be a bullish underthrow, but honestly, that's not something I'm really looking for here. I was just putting it here because it was a possible pattern forming, and at the moment, I think the answer is it's probably not forming, but I could be mistaken. We will see how that goes. All right, looking at SB, we're owed a hit sooner or later of this low here at 14.02, and I'm still expecting to see that. Might see higher first, but this could be a larger bear flag forming, but not really seeing any obvious reason to think that is the case. Possible double bottom here on CC, 60-minute buy signal made the possible near miss target. CT, we've got a potential little double bottom here, we've got a potential larger little double bottom here, and actually this could be a double bottom as well. So we've got quite a nice looking setup here, and I would say on the daily chart, we've got a daily RSI 5 buy signal brewing, so I am watching this with interest. Lumber, as I was saying, the longer we spend trading sideways here, the more likely it is the next break will be down. The overall trend is bearish. ZW, still halfway between the gutter and the stars, really. The gutter is the retest of the low. The stars is making this double bottom target. That's not quite halfway, obviously, but I'm haven't got a strong preference either way. I'm not really seeing anything short term to indicate direction. On corn, this looks like a bear flag, which is going to retest in due course this low here near just under 417.5. On ZS, we've got potential head and shoulders, little head and shoulders forming here. Again, we could head up to 1104, or we could break back down and retest this low. And the decision is being made at the moment. On ZL, we had a double top breakdown. That's pretty much failed. And we're likely to see a retest of this high here in the 54.95 area on live cattle. We are trickling upwards, and that is degrading the possibility that this is a double top. It's still there, but it's not aging like a fine wine. On HE, we had a possible head and shoulders forming here, and then we've gone back up and retested the high, and we are going higher. If we were to hit this megaphone resistance, that would be up at about the 99.45 area, but the next obvious target within this megaphone would be this megaphone support currently down here at about the 94.25 area. So, all right, let's have a quick look at questions, of which we have. All right, let's have a quick look at metals. Okay, looking at the metals. Did I review the metals? No, I think I might have forgotten them. Okay, hang on. Let's just review the metals and oil. Sorry, I might have missed those. Okay, oil, we've seen a 50% retracement and not gone any higher here. I'm thinking this could be an ABC going down. Obviously, not getting more news from Iran would probably be a good thing. HO, 50 back as well. RBOB, we did better than that, but I'm still thinking we may be going down. We had a series of buy signals, and they've all made the target, apart from HO, which has only made the possible near-miss target. NG, this is a pretty clear message here. We obviously had a squeeze in the February contract. That actually made it up to about 7 on the February contract at the high, but that is gone. We saw a bounce up here, which made me think we might be breaking up, and that's now been extremely fully rejected. This looks like a bear flag, and I'm thinking we may be on the way back to 2.6 after this cold snap in the US basically has forced prices up. GC still looks like a bear flag. SI, this looks like a bear flag. This could be a double top here, but we're basically testing resistance at the monthly pivot, and if that breaks up, then it can clear going higher. We're already over the monthly pivot, obviously, on gold. Palladium, this could be a little double top here, but again, we're back over the monthly pivot. Break and convert that, and obviously it can go higher. Platinum still looks like a bear flag, testing the monthly pivot from below. HG, keeping an open mind here, but this is a nice little IHS. It's broken up with a target in the 6.24 area, and this looks short-term like a bull flag forming. So I'm liking this target at 6.24. Obviously, that needs to get over the monthly pivot as well. All right, great. In that case, any more questions, guys? Nope. In that case, I think that's a wrap. Everyone take care. I'll catch you guys again tomorrow.